everyone, welcome back to Muffyastrology. Today we're going to be talking about solar arcs. Sorry if there's a lot of noise going on. It's hot here and I have a bunch of AC and fans going, so I'll try to do noise reduction in post, but I can't promise anything. Also, I'm going to be eating my dinner while I'm making this video. I'm probably going to cut most of the chewing out. This isn't like a mukbang or anything, but if you see me like holding a fork that looks like a twig in some shots, that's why. But if you're curious, I'm having some cauliflower wings, buffalo cauliflower. My mouth is watering as I say this. With some dairy-free ranch, and then I also have some watermelon because I've been like really obsessed with watermelon this summer, probably because I'm like super dehydrated, and also I'm always drinking out of comically large glass water bottles, so I should probably put my hair up while I eat. I kind of wanted my hair down for this video because in the last video my hair was up. Now that that's out of the way, today we're going to be talking about solar arcs in major life events, and I'm going to be using my chart. Solar arcs are a type of progression where every planet is progressed 1 degree per year. It's thought when solar arc planets make certain aspects to your natal planets that it can note important dates or life events, and I wanted to go back in time and see my life. I wanted to think of like what were some really life-changing events for me, and I wrote them down, and then I looked at the solar arcs on those days and I was actually blown away. I think this is important for everyone to do who wants to be a practicing astrologer, who wants to work with clients. Like, it's okay to ask your client for history so that you can get a clear picture of how events are triggered in their chart, and you can't find patterns if you're not looking in the past, present, and future. This is going to cause me to get a little vulnerable and trauma dumpy, so if you don't want to hear about traumatic events, I guess this might not be the video for you, but I'll start off with the happy stuff. Also, I'm not going to be looking at transits, eclipses, or anything else. We're just solely talking about solar arc planet aspects to my natal planets. You can do transits to solar arc, you can do solar arc planets to solar return chart, you can do a lot of different things with solar arcs, but I'm solely talking about solar arc to my natal planets. So I have it pulled up on my laptop here, so if I'm like looking off, that's why. So I said we were going to talk about the fun stuff first, right? If you watch my first video, you know that I'm an actor. Basically, my dream is to be half actor, half astrologer, and just make a living off of that. My biggest passions in life are storytelling and astrology, which is funny because astrology is kind of a way of storytelling, but I digress. I wanted to be an actor ever since I was a little kid, but I wanted to think of a time when, okay, I really was like what was the moment where I was like, yep, this is what I want to do. I'm actually gonna go for it. And that would be my first time ever on a movie set. I was in a silly party movie called The Binge, and it was actually the first ever Hulu original movie. It was also the first time my current boyfriend and I were ever in the same room together, but we never interacted, but that's a whole other story. Like, if it wasn't for doing background work on that movie, I would not be sitting here in this studio apartment in Los Angeles right now. And I wouldn't be with my boyfriend, and a lot of things in my life would not have happened. So I really wanted to look on that day, and I had sun trine midheaven almost exactly. I think it was like 12 minutes off, but it was 0 degrees. All the aspects I'm going to be talking about today are 0 degrees. It's not that certain aspects can't have a wider orb for things to happen. I just like looked up the actual day using AstroSeek, and on every single notable life event, they all had a really tight orb with a really important aspect. Also, these are so good. I'm cutting out me eating this, but guys, I just want you to know it's been really delicious. I believe on AstroSeek, if you click on the aspect, it'll tell you the precise day that the aspect went exact. And I don't remember the day that I signed up for or Googled how to get on that set, but I would not be surprised if it was around there, because I think the aspect was exact in like July or something. Okay, on to the next life event. As you know, I already mentioned I moved across the country to Los Angeles, and I think that's a huge major life event, to literally pack up your entire life and move across the country. I'm gonna let y'all guess in your head what aspect represents to you moving. Well, in my solar arc, the solar arc moon was square Uranus. That is the most moving aspect there is, in my opinion. There's no more elaboration that needs to be done. Okay, now we're gonna get into 2 deaths I experienced, and I did mention them in my last video. And I honestly thought that the solar arcs would be so blaringly obvious, kind of like how the first 2 were, but I still think they really represented what I was going through at the time, so On the day my dad died, my solar arc Saturn was trining my south node, which is very interesting to me because in Liz Green's book, she talks about how Sun-Saturn contacts in the natal chart really represent this like karma that needs to be hashed out between the father and child in this lifetime. Saturn trine south node is like your karma has been completed. Like that's like the vibe it gives me. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone else, but that was really the only notable like your dad died type of aspect I saw in my solar arc. But maybe if I look at it with less grieving eyes in the future, I might see something else. But obviously, in terms of life events, you're not going to have a clear-cut aspect between certain planets in every single technique, right? Like, there's not going to be an eclipse and a solar arc contact and a secondary progressions contact and a zodiacal releasing peak period and a perfection year. And like, you know, it's not all gonna happen. Most of those techniques might show an event transpiring, but it's not gonna be all of them across the board. You know what I mean? I talk about a lot about how like I felt like my dad just learned what he needed to learn, and like towards the end of his life we really hashed out like a lot of like shadow work and like uncovering old traumas and healing together, healing our relationship, like talking about things and just like, I don't know. So, and the south node is about release. So natally, I do have Sun conjunct South Node, so the next aspect was on the day that my best friend passed away. I know! Hopefully soon I'll have like some more fun solar arcs to talk about, because so far I only have like 2 good major life events and 2 like actually god-awful life events, so hopefully we can balance the scales a little bit with the good stuff, you know what I mean? On the day that my best friend passed away, I had solar arc moon square Mercury. With Mercury being about communication, I don't want to go too deep into how everything went down and stuff because a lot of it's personal and I want to protect her and her family and, you know, my experience as well. But like the way things happened, the way I found out, like communication around that time, you know, with me and her, with others, it was just crazy and like super emotional. Natally, Cancer, the moon rules my 11th house of friends and friendships and groups, and she really was the friend that like glued the group together. And you know, Mercury is my 1st house ruler, so like my 1st and 11th house ruler making a square is just like ugh. And on the day she passed, the moon and Mars were conjunct, so my 11th and my 8th house ruler were conjunct. The day my dad died, the moon and Mars were conjunct. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about transit. Sorry I've been like waving a fork at you guys. I'm actually like done eating, but yeah, I know I said I wasn't going to talk about transits, but I just had to say that because that was really weird. Hi. You can't jump up here because I have shit everywhere. But yeah, those were, oh god. Say hello. So yeah, that's basically it for the solar arcs and the notable days of my life. I know there's only 4 of them and I didn't dive too deep into literally any other technique, but I just wanted to show how obvious and clear cut these aspects can get. Like Sun trine midheaven on the first day I was ever on a movie set. It really speaks for itself and I'm excited to see what else is to come. Thank you guys so much for watching. Since I uploaded my first YouTube video, I have 9 subscribers, so thank you guys. It's really cool to know that 9 people watched my first video and decided they wanted to see more of me. So if you want to see more astrology content, make sure to subscribe. I am a Hellenistic whole sign astrologer and I use my own chart to explain astrological techniques. If you have any requests, please comment them down below. I do have a list of videos that I want to make, but one of you might have a really good idea that I haven't thought of yet, so just comment it down below. Also, I want to say Mercury is retrograde right now and this video is going to have so many jump cuts because I have been stuttering my way through this entire video. As I'm speaking, it is 24 minutes and 56 seconds long. So based on the actual runtime of this video, you'll know just how many minutes of stuttering I had to cut out. But yeah, thank you again for watching. I'll see you guys next week.